past 2 weeks, troops extensively conducted multiple land, maritime, and air operations at different locations of various theaters of operation. Some of these operations resulted in the realization of criminal enclaves, neutralization and arrest of criminal elements, as well as recovery of arms, ammunition, and other illegal refined oil and stolen petroleum products. Therefore, today, we highlight in summary some of these locations where operations were conducted and some of the significant results achieved between 25th November and 9th December 2021. Now we look at Operation Hiding Kai. The troops of Operation Hiding Kai conducted several operational activities in the last 2 weeks and recorded significant results. Notably, on 3rd December 2021, troops repelled Boko Haram terrorists and Islamic State of West African Province terrorist attack in a fierce gun battle at Kalapalge local government area of Borno State. During the encounter, troops subdued the terrorists and neutralized no fewer than 26 of them. Troops also destroyed and captured several fighting equipment and vehicles of the terrorists. Regrettably, we lost some of our personnel in that encounter. They paid the supreme price, and they are heroes in the battle against criminality in the country. Other locations where the troops carried out clearance operations are Gombe local government area of Adamawa State, as well as Ram and Romilko villages, and Bama, Mafa, and different local government areas of Borno State, where some terrorists surrendered to gun troops. Cumulatively, a total of 62 terrorist elements were neutralized and 27 of them were arrested in combat, while 54 assaulted arms and 144 rounds of different caliber of ammunition were recovered, and some livestock were also recovered. It's noteworthy to mention here that 20 kidnapped personnel of the Nigerian police force who were abducted when the terrorists attacked their police division were rescued by own troops and Buniyadi within the same period. Additionally, troops' kinetic and non-kinetic operations have continued to drag the terrorists out of their camps due to surrendering to troops. Between this period, a total of 192 terrorists and their families, comprising 51 adult males, 67 adult females, and 74 children, surrendered to own troops. The surrendered terrorists were publicly profiled and handed over to other security agencies for necessary action. Now we look at Operation Harder Redact. The troops of Operation Harder Redact sustained its clearance operations within the last 2 weeks. Notably, on 2nd December 2021, in a coordinated clearance operation carried out at Rwandawa, Garimaza, Markiyama villages in Sape local government area against armed bandits. Some of them were neutralized and various arms and ammunition were recovered. Other locations in which our troops' operational effort yielded significant results are Kungumi, Jangeme, Mugbargodo, and along Dogo Karfe, current water road, all in Zamfara State. Other locations include Kuzari village in Sabombrini local government area of Sokoto State, Bongwal Gwanki, Koluwebirane, Army Market, Begira, and Dambok villages, as well as along Magami, Kango Marafa Road in Maru local government area of Zamfara State. Altogether, 14 armed bandits were neutralized. Some of them were arrested while in combat and their collaborators. Also, 17 assaulted arms, including AK-47 rifles, PKT machine guns, and general purpose machine guns, as well as 625 rounds of different caliber of ammunition and livestock were recovered from the bandits, while 8 kidnapped civilians were rescued in the course of this operation. Additionally, 54 extra magazines of assorted arms and 20 motorcycles were recovered from bandits within the location. Now we look at Operation Safe Haven. The troops of Operation Safe Haven within the period in focus conducted various operations, including raid operations on criminal element hideouts, as well as repelled kidnappers and gunmen attacks at different locations across its theater. These operations cumulatively resulted in the arrest of 43 armed bandits and their collaborators, drug peddlers, rescue of 50 kidnapped civilians, and as well as recovery of livestock. 12 assorted arms and 36 different caliber of ammunition were also recovered. Most of these operations were executed at Gori, as well as Mangu and Gindi markets in Mangu local government area, Maraban Jama'a local government checkpoint, Logon Hawa community in Lake Jos South local government area, Maraban Forum, and Kaskara Forest in Barkinla local government area of Plateau State. Other locations in Plateau State include Lutura Ida, Mabel villages, as well as Bokos Camp in Bokos local government area, Keringada, Congo, Russia, and Anwanke areas in Jos North local government area, as well as Kwanki and Ganawi Road and Ganawi village in the local government area. Other locations are Gamba Forest under the Rogozo district and Dianwa town, Jama'a local government area, Rakingora village, and in Kara local government area, Madauchi community in Zambon Kata, Wampiri village, under Metozo and Sanga local government area of Kaduna State. Now we look at Operation Wild Stroke. Troops of Operation Wild Stroke conducted several operational activities which led to the neutralization of some bandits, and others were arrested as well. There were also other elements that were also arrested, recovery of arms and ammunition, as well as rescue of kidnapped civilians. These operations were conducted at Antioco, Bise, and 4 towns in Katsina local government area, Chiotsa, Mbacha village, under Shitile Council Ward of Ukun local government area, and Igumali community in Ado local government area of Benue State. Other locations are Kayo village in Wukani local government area of Taraba State, Utara and Ruga Amadu Rufai community under Good Ward in Abad local government council of the Federal Capital Territory. Cumulatively, a total of 5 criminals were neutralized, and 19 of them were arrested, while 15 different arms and 62 different caliber of ammunition were recovered, and 3 kidnapped civilians were rescued within the period under review. In addition, troops held peace and security meetings with critical stakeholders as non-kinetic efforts in tackling insecurity. One of these meetings was held at Force Headquarters of the Wild Stroke in Makodi with the Force Commander. Issues discussed at the meeting centered on how to find lasting solutions to the security challenges facing Benue State and its environment. Now we look at Operation Thunder Strike and Wild Punch. In the course of the operations within the period, troops intercepted and arrested criminal elements as well as recovered arms and ammunition. Notably, on 3rd December, troops arrested a notorious armed bandit at Paka community in the local government area of Kaduna State, who revealed that the head of the vigilantes in the Gaza area aids armed banditry and is involved in some attacks and kidnapping incidents in the environment. Other incidents with significant results were recorded at Ayingada, Rugan Alhaji Uri villages in the local government area of Kaduna State. Furthermore, the air component of Operation Thunder Strike and Wild Punch within this period carried out significant airstrikes against armed bandits at their enclaves. Notably, on 3rd December 2021, following credible intelligence reports and after careful area surveillance revealed activities of armed bandits east of Regina village along Kaduna Abuja highway. Consequently, a first package of Nigerian Air Force platforms that dispatched to take out the criminals. The location which the bandits used as a logistic base and staging points, where they perpetrated nefarious activities along highway, was designated by successive air strikes that yielded devastating results with heavy casualties against the bandits during the operation. But 5 armed bandits were neutralized and their structures, housing logistics and weapons were destroyed. In addition, other bandits who escaped during the airstrike were traced to a location 4 kilometers southeast of Kaduna NYSC camp, where 30 of them were killed in airstrikes, which also destroyed some of the structures they used in carrying out their various activities and their weapons. Cumulatively, 6 other criminal elements were arrested and 9 assaulted arms and 2 extra magazine rifles and some rounds of ammunition and 6 motorcycles were recovered in the course of the operations within the period. Now we look at Operation Delta Safe. Troops of Operation Delta Safe sustained the anti-illegal oil production operations and other non-kinetic operations to forestall activities of vandals and economic saboteurs in the south-side zone of the country. Some of these operations were executed at different locations in villages, creeks, and towns in Port Harcourt. These are Emoa, Ahwada East, Abua, Odua, Boni, One, Oba, Egbema, Andoni, and Akuku local government areas of Rivers State. Other locations are villages, towns, and creeks in Warri South, Warri Southwest, and Ethiop East local government areas of Delta State. Troops also carried out operations at Umu and Lolo, Uwaza communities in Okwa West local government area of Abia State, and Lemna roundabout in Calabar Metropolis, Cross River State. The troops of Operation Delta Safe within the period, based on credible intelligence, ambushed and neutralized 2 kidnappers in a gun duel during anti-kidnap and anti-robbery patrol at Ubiere community in Okwe local government area of Delta State. During the encounter, troops recovered some arms and ammunition from the criminals, while about 100 inches and 825 grams of heroin and cannabis sativa respectively were found in their possession. Consequent upon these operations, in the last 2 weeks, troops of Operation Delta Safe discovered and immobilized a total of 39 illegal refining sites, 73 ovens, 85 cooking pots and boilers, 18 cooling systems, and 27 reservoirs, 39 large dugger pits, and 89 storage tanks. Cumulatively, a total of 1,014,000 liters of illegally refined automotive gas oil, 50,500 liters of dual purpose kerosene, otherwise known as DPK, and 1,808,500 liters of stolen crude oil were recovered in the course of these operations. In addition, 18 criminals associated with pipeline vandalism, piracy, illegal oil bunkering, and armed robbery were arrested within the period under review. Also, troops recovered 6 assorted arms, 586 rounds of different caliber of ammunition, 12 AK-47 rifle magazines, as well as 278 pieces of galvanized pipes, 40 wooden boats used for illegal oil bunkering activities in the course of the operation. All the arrested criminals are recovered items and be handed over to relevant security agencies for further action. Gentlemen of the press, from the brief you have just listened to, efforts of the armed forces of Nigeria and other security agencies across the country are paying off. Nevertheless, we will continue our joint efforts in the fight against criminalities all over the country. The Military High Command commend the sacrifices of these troops in the various theaters of operation and salute their courage, resilience towards achieving sustainable peace in the country. The general public is highly appreciated for the cooperation given to the armed forces of Nigeria and other security agencies in the course of our operations. Also, we especially thank members of the press community for their immense support and encouragement, and we encourage everybody to continue to avail the security forces with credible and timely information that will aid our operational engagements. Once again, thank you for coming, and God bless. Pictures of the events and incidents from these operations carried out within this period are available for collection. Thank you, and God bless.